Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something critical but so often overlooked in healthcare. It's called the fourth trimester. That's the period after a baby is born. And as we're going to see, for new mothers in the United States, it can be a time of just profound neglect.
Okay, let's start with a fact that just might change how you think about childbirth. We all tend to imagine that the moment of delivery is the most dangerous part, right? But the shocking reality? For mothers, the real danger often starts the moment they walk out of the hospital doors.
And this, right here, is the heart of the crisis. I mean, think about it. So much attention, so much medical focus is on labor and delivery. But then, in those critical weeks and months that follow, when mothers are recovering physically, when their hormones are all over the place, and they're facing these immense new pressures, they're often left with almost no medical support.
Now, this isn't just a feeling or a few sad stories. The data actually backs this up in a big way. Our source pointed us to a recent Harris poll, and it paints a really stark picture of just how overlooked new moms feel inside the American healthcare system.
Look at this number. A staggering 77% of women feel there is simply not enough focus on healthcare for them, the mothers, after they've given birth. That's more than 3 out of every 4 women basically saying the system has moved on from them.
And the way they describe this feeling is, well, it's powerful. It's not just that there's a lack of focus, it's a genuine sense of being completely pushed aside.
65%. That's nearly 2/3 of women who feel that mothers become a total afterthought once the baby arrives. It's like this huge, bright spotlight shines on the new baby, which is wonderful, but the person who just went through this immense physical and emotional marathon is suddenly left standing in the dark.
So what does the official support system even look like? Well, for most, it boils down to a single, really brief checkup 6 long weeks after giving birth. And an overwhelming 84% of moms say this is just not enough. How can a quick 20-minute chat possibly cover all the complex health issues a new mother might be dealing with? It can't.
So what happens when this neglect is built right into the system? Well, it takes a direct and often devastating toll on maternal mental health. When mothers are left to fend for themselves, they often struggle in silence. And that's created a widespread but often hidden crisis.
And the numbers here are truly alarming. Almost 2 out of every 5 women, that's 38%, are diagnosed with a mental health condition like anxiety or depression during their pregnancy journey. This is a massive public health issue hiding in plain sight.
And this is where the disconnect becomes so clear. Even with these incredibly high rates of depression and anxiety, only about a quarter of mothers felt they actually got enough information on where to go for help. That means 3/4 are left trying to navigate this incredibly difficult terrain all on their own.
And listen, this isn't just coming from patients. This is a quote from Dr. Jones, an OBGYN who used to practice in the US. She's sharing her own frustration from inside the system. Even as a doctor, when she tried to get her patients the urgent care they needed, she found the system's barriers were just too high, too often.
Okay, so if the US system has these huge gaps, you have to wonder, is there a better way? What could it look like? Well, let's take a look at New Zealand, which is where Dr. Jones practices now. It shows a completely different reality for new mothers. And the difference is just, it's night and day. In the US, you've got that single, often inadequate 6-week checkup. In New Zealand, the care actually comes to you. Midwives make home visits for 6 weeks, sometimes even longer. They have dedicated facilities for maternal mental health where a mother isn't separated from her baby, which is a huge barrier to getting care in the States.
You see, the whole philosophy in New Zealand is built on continuous, proactive support. It isn't about waiting for a mom to hit a crisis point at 6 weeks and maybe show up to an appointment. It's about consistent, in-person check-ins that support both the mother's recovery and the baby's development, right from the very beginning. This model clearly works better. So the obvious question is, why can't a country like the United States just copy it? Well, the answer, unfortunately, is a lot more complicated than it seems. And here's the core issue. It's a problem of infrastructure. The US healthcare system just isn't built for this kind of integrated, community-based care. American OBGYNs are already stretched incredibly thin, basically doing the jobs of multiple specialists. There simply aren't enough midwives or community nurses to roll out a home visit system on a national scale. And our source, Dr. Jones, is really clear on this point. This is not a failure of individual doctors or nurses. They are working incredibly hard inside a broken structure. This is a fundamental systemic failure. You can't just pile more tasks onto an already overloaded system and expect things to get better. And so that leaves us with this final, really challenging thought. Just recognizing that mothers are being forgotten, that's not enough. Even knowing that a better model exists somewhere else isn't enough. If the entire structure is the barrier, then truly advocating for new mothers and their families means we have to think so much bigger. We have to think about a fundamental redesign of how America provides care. And you have to ask, what will that take?